Hello again. Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Worst Things of All Time. Today's edition, we present the top 10 worst all-time pickup lines for mildly to moderately disturbed people. A subcultural grouping of people that I feel a deep spiritual connection to. It's moderately disturbed people is a little bit healthier on the old hierarchy of human frailties than is what I'm typically associated with, but it's close enough for rock and roll. My name is, what am I using today? Oh, Chris P. Bacon. I'm an etouffee salesman. I have a etouffee cart that I, push cart that I, roll in front of sporting events and sell etouffee to people for moolah, for Major League Ducats. I'm independent now. At this point, I'm independently wealthy. Decided to retire so I could do top 10 worst lists at my leisure. Today's edition of Top 10 Worst Lists is sponsored by Feel Like Getting Lucky Charms. Breakfast of Champions. And by the novel Confederacy of Dunces. I'm sorry, I'm cracking myself up. I don't mean to find myself funny, but I do. And when you live a life of weirdness, completely immersed in weirdness, you find that not a lot of people get it. And you've been betrayed, backstabbed, abandoned as much as I have been in my life. You just sort of get used to the idea that nobody wants to be around you, and so you deal with living a life of solitude. And sometimes in situations like that, you have to find ways to make yourself laugh without trying to just sort of keep balance so you don't cross over to the to being sort of like a hallmark of insanity. Just try to keep it mellow. Anywho, so today's top 10 all-time best list. All-time worst pickup lines for mildly disturbed people. All right, so number 10 is, would you like to dance or don't you ever want to see your pet dog alive again? Now, I have not tried any of these pickup lines out. I already am, I'm like a while ago, I became totally frigid. It's impossible for me to have any sort of emotional connection with anyone. I don't even really at this juncture, to be honest, like to be touched. Don't touch me. If you come out, try to support some of the other creative things that I do in this world. Just kind of wave hello and try not to put your stinking mitts on me. I don't like it. So I don't use pickup lines at all anymore. I got no use for them. I got no time for any, interspecies commingling. Or, no, it wouldn't be interspecies, would it? That's a totally different bag. That's a totally different list. I'll do that next time, perhaps. Top 10 interspecies dating tips Anyway, so top 10 worst list. Number 1, anyway, you get it. I don't know. Anyway, so. Number 9, can I show you my library card? Because I've totally been checking you out. ... For crabs. I mean, again, I wouldn't call myself a bottom feeder, but I would certainly, anybody who would be interested in me, I would definitely call them a bottom feeder. So, telltale signs of crabs, it becomes part of the lexicon of being, kind of a scumbag, like I have turned out to be, unfortunately, in my life. Didn't really things didn't turn out as I planned. I mean, really. But anyway, number 8. We're doing the best or the worst all-time pickup lines for moderately disturbed people. Number 8, do you come here often? ... For me to poop on. That's right. I stuck in a little Triumph, the insult comedy dog. Triumph is somebody I can relate to. I could see myself being in a relationship with Triumph. He hates everything, everybody. And that's just like right where I'm at. I'm not talking about, it's not going to be a sexual thing. I'm frigid. It's not going to be, any relationship that I got is going to be like, totally like hands off. I get, if I ever got married, that I wouldn't be able to even live in the same building as my spouse. We'd see each other maybe once on the weekend, every other weekend. That's the best I can do. Okay, but so now you got. You're not talking about when you're not going to have a physical relationship, when you're just too skeeved out by the physical touch. Having common interests, sense of humor. These are important. That's why I think Triumph, the insult comic dog, would be like really high on my list. If I would swipe the way that you like, whatever, right or left, I don't even know. If I saw Triumph, the comedy insult dog, on like Tinder. But then, you go out with people that I don't drink, party, smoke, hang out, and do any of this stuff. I'm always working on top 10 lists. 24/8, right? 25/8. I'm always working on these lists, cracking myself the hell up because I got nobody else to make me laugh. So you got to develop a weird sense of humor, try to make it through to the next day, or else you'd just be like, what's the point? I just might as well eat a bullet. I'm not ready to eat a bullet. I enjoy my solitude a lot. Whatever. But, so I think that, having a relationship with somebody is going to be just totally on a spiritual, intellectual level. That's it. So all you ladies out there who are seeing what a dreamboat I look like, what a catch. What a catch. Look at this guy. You're SOL, baby. I'm sorry. Gonna have to deal with it. All this. I'm out of your league. I don't like to be touched. Keep in mind. Number 7 of worst all-time pickup lines for the mildly to moderately disturbed person. Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over your cottage cheese saddlebags. Ooh, cottage cheese saddlebags. Ooh. Tempting. Number 6, you must be Jamaican because you're Jamaican me sniff airplane model glue. I like a nice fresh model glue in the morning. In the bottom of I like the paper bag. Over the huff rag. Just a personal preference. I'm not coming down on the huff rag community. Okay, so I don't want to get any letters. I don't want to get any irrational, toxic comments saying, hey, crispy bacon, you and your anti-huff rag rhetoric shall not be tolerated by the huff rag consortium. Just keep it to yourself, man. I'm not anti-huff rag. I'm pro brown paper bag huffables. There's a difference. It's all about, again, impulse. Talked about this before. It's impulse. You can't control people's impulses. Impulses just happen. It's organic. They just flow through you. What's your favorite color out there? Out there in what you call it, land. Favorite color? Is it, perhaps taupe? I get it. The beige earth tones, very hot these days. Very hot. So, but anyway, like my favorite color is puce. Go figure. Right? So, what am I supposed to do? I get together, somebody says their favorite color is taupe. My favorite color is puce. What do I beat the hell out of them until he, accepts puce as their favorite color? Excuse me. I could do it. I am a master of fine arts. I have a degree in it. And amongst those, the martial arts are in the fine arts, I think, as far as anybody knows. So if I want to beat somebody's ass to get them to publicly admit that their favorite color is puce, I can get the job done. I'm just the guy to do it. Who's got two thumbs and kick anybody's ass? This guy. Puce. But that doesn't mean that in his heart he's going to, like the ass whooping that I would open up on him, would not actually change the affection, organically driven affection that he's got for taupe. He might say it. He might live out his whole life. He might repaint his house inside and out, an apartment, whatever, condo. Ramshackle ice fishing shack. Puce. Paint his car puce. Wear puce clothes. Wear puce colored codpiece. He might do all that stuff. But in his heart, deep in his heart, you know that he's still down with taupe. He's team taupe. He is. And so, hey, whatever. All right? You can't change that. No amount of beatings. I mean, you do like a whole, what was that movie with the Clockworks? Oh, the Clockworks Orange? The Clockworks Orange. Pretty sure that's what it was called. And they said the guy is a long time no viddy, my droogies. And they put that guy, whatever his name is, I think it was Sam. They put him in the conditioning experiment. They give him the drops and the eye drops and the dillo pudding. And they put him in the thing, and they drop him, and they're showing him the violence, and they give him a chemical that makes him all sick so that he associates violence with sickness. But at the same time, they're playing Beethoven in the background. He's got like this really, sort of like, he's super, like wet at the tip for the music of Beethoven or whatever you want to call it. And then they ruin all the Beethoven for him and everything like that. But that doesn't change even that level of conditioning of poisoning and what you call MK Ultras and whatever they put on him. That makes him physically sick when he hears Beethoven. That doesn't mean he doesn't love Beethoven anymore. Still, somewhere underneath all that programming and chemical lobotomies or whatever the hell that they're doing, He still loves Beethoven. He still loves the color taupe. You can't beat it out of him. So I don't even know why you even bother trying. Number 5 of the worst all-time pickup lines for moderately disturbed people. As long as I have a crotch, you'll have a place to sit. That's a good one. Now, again, I haven't beta tested any of these lines in the field. I've gotten used to the idea that what I'm doing here is not, something that's going to turn anybody on. And so I've given up. And I don't really even haven't wanted it for a long time. What's the point of, whatever? You get yourself a couple of different fleshlights with different tensile strength and you're all set. And tensile strength is crucial in finding the right sort of whatevers. But the fleshlight, doesn't backstab you. The fleshlight is always there. The fleshlight doesn't betray your emotions and doesn't grind your gears if you're off doing crazy top 10 lists. And so, I'm happier just to not have the white noise of somebody complaining all the time. Why don't you get off your ass and get to the rehab clinic and get yourself back in shape so that you can do something besides top 10 lists? I'm not having it. My heart is pure. Number 4. I'm going to call your sniz area Campbell's soup because it's good. Now, I've had my sniz compared to Campbell's soup, but that was from the time, I don't know, here it is in February 2026. I think it was in December-ish, November, when one of the Campbell's soup executives came out and said that we make it with like a bunch of cardboard and stuff and it's just soup for poor people. Now, I don't call Campbell's soup like the pinnacle of comestibles. The chunky soup has got some nice options and stuff. They used to have like some really weird chunky soups. They used to have a beef stroganoff, I think it was, or cream chip beef, maybe something that was kind of intriguing. But I don't think they have any of those anymore. I think it's all just chunky chicken, and that's all they got left. And then they've got, they used to have the Scotch broth from the sweetened condensed Campbell soup cans and stuff like that, but they don't have Scotch broth anymore. So, I lost interest. But, the guy came out and admitted, hey, we used cardboard and like cheap ingredients and stuff like that. And people, it's just, poor people and whatnot. That's the type of Campbell soup that I am. I am not the Scotch broth of Campbell soups. I am the cheap cardboard for the poor people type of Campbell soup. Okay? Excuse me. And I know what do they call that thing when not for like a person who's a 2 or something like that, to hit on an 8. What's that phrase? It's called playing in your league, stepping out, something like that. Stay in your lane. I don't know, something along those lines. You know what I'm talking about. I know all about it. I would never hit on anybody above a 1. I'm looking, my wheelhouse, my comfort zone is the 0 level on the 1 to 10 scale, like beneath, just like not even really in the game, just sort of like, somebody who's going to be buried inside of a hollowed out piano instead of a coffin. I don't, whatever. I don't have a high level of self worth or value or whatnot. And so I'm not going to be, so, a poor person's Campbell soup made out of garbage, that's my comfort zone. That'd be like really an incredible accomplishment for me. So anyway, number 3 of the top 10 worst pickup lines for abnormal, aberrant types. Good news, the test results are negative, just like your attitude. Bam! Right there. Mission accomplished. She'd be like, let's go to your place. After a line like that, man, the deal is done. So, this is good material. Y'all should be taking notes. Because I know that anybody who's going to be watching this stuff is going to be, mildly to moderately disturbed. Especially as watched this far. We're now 21 minutes into this video. If you're watching this far, you are, you're on the vanguard of disturbed people. So you should be jotting these pickup lines down to get yourself a honey to wax the parapet. Number 2. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Because I'm into hardcore ass play. Now, see, this one, I don't know. First of all, I don't know why it's number 2. I've never tried any of these lines. So, again, as a disclaimer, I have, I'm not promising anything when you adopt these lines and try to use them out there in the real world. I'm just saying that they're out there, just trying to help here. I just want to see people have healthier, happier, more productive lives because that aspiration for that for myself has become a long time ago out of reach. But, this one feels like it's like right on the money. Like a lot of men and women, I think, would respond to a line like this. Not to say that I believe that there are any women who could tolerate watching 20 minutes of me on a video like this. But, hey, what the hell? I'm not, it's all good by me. Whatever it is that gets you off sexually, sensually, emotionally, intellectually, whatever. As long as you're not hurting people, killing people, or threatening people with a bunch of hatred and violence, stuff like that. Whatever you can do to get your rocks off. There's not much time left. The human race is on its way out. It's no longer in vogue to be human. And there's just not any signs of humanity within our culture anymore. I don't think there's anything worth saving. Everybody's so full of hate, so full of lies and garbage, and projecting all of that into the public, and nobody has any answers. There's no power apparatus that can represent, people who are trying to fight against the billionaire class from usurping all of our humanity out from under us and torturing us at the same time. I don't see any opportunities for any of that to turn around. So, screw it. Have a good time. Take some of these pickup lines. Go out. Beta test them for yourselves. If you get lucky or anything like that, leave a tip or join my Patreon or something like that. Or leave a comment saying, hey, pickup line number 3 was a real game changer for me. And I, scored a dreamboat. Most of anyway, number 1, the top. I'm sure you're waiting with bated breath. For this one, top of the worst all-time. It's a top 10 worst all-time pickup lines for mildly disturbed people. You have a kind face, the kind I'd like to dry hump. Woo! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the top of the DVD. And it's wow, what an incredible list this is. I'm sure that this perhaps out of all this is the third one I've ever done. I think out of the three, I think this is by far the most utilitarian. I think this was pragmatic for people I saw a need out there, for people to be able to connect, to be able to find some commonality, and to rapidly brush aside all the preconceived notions that we've got for people being jerks and abusive. You said, what was it about, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that, where they had that whole meme, man or bear, which was designed to, sort of the question was, which is it safer to be locked in a room with, a man or a bear? And like a lot of people, like most of the people said bear. So that is unsustainable for more people to think of the bear. Anyway, once again, my name is Chris P. Bacon. I'm related to Kevin Bacon, yes. We're second cousins. Anyway, everything I've said here is just opinions, not of my own, but bestowed on me by the Almighty God, who, or whatever generative, semi-intelligent, source of ultimate truth there is in the universe. I don't know. It's not my, I don't know. It's just, to be honest, above my pay grade. I'm simply channeling these things through me. These, I've been imbued. The Holy Ghost, Spirit. Not to brag, but those who want to kill me, dump on their own emotional baggage on me, project things, all these things, shoot the messenger. I guarantee that my life sucks and is full of betrayal and enormous amounts of ongoing episodes of physical pain to the point where I can barely walk most days, and sometimes I can't even type out my top 10 lists. And I'm not exaggerating. Massive amounts of loneliness, massive amounts of detachment and regrets, and frigidity. The only reason I appear to be happy is because through no fault of my own, nothing I had to do with it. I was born with great powers of resilience. So even though my life sucks, I go to the emergency room, I'm screaming amounts of pain, but I've got a smile on my face because that's just the way it is. I don't know. And they take a look at the smile on my face and like, oh, okay, we'll put him in the back of the line. And stuff like that. So I wait for 7 hours until the middle of the night and don't get seen in the emergency room until 3 a.m. when they do all kinds of injurious actions to me because they have no class. And they will listen to a guy like this. They think I'm out to try to get narcotics. I don't want narcotics. I don't want to party. I don't want to do any of that. I want to get, mild levels of sort of passivity are just, like my highest level of, that's all I want. I don't want happiness. I don't want joy. I don't want passion. I just want innocuous levels of stasis instead of being in pain and anguish and consumed by my own regrets. So if you hate everything that I'm saying here, or you're feeling like you want to be passively aggressive towards me, or any of those types of catchphrasey types of things that smart people are going to project onto you, and you want to project it onto me, use the comments section. But, really, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've got enough grief and anguish to keep me busy at this juncture. So I endure you to live your life, and hit me up with a comment if you've been inspired to feel creative, or join my Patreon, or leave a tip would be great because my physical ailments threaten my life to almost unsurvivable levels. And I've become, I've done a lot of years where I was like saying a lot of negative things about the status quo and the power apparatus and the ruling elite, our overlords, if you will. And it led me to be super, ultra, mega blacklisted. We already live in a society where, true artists are treated like pariahs, like enemies of the people. Heinrich Ibsen. So you already got that sort of baseline type of thing. The people who are being successful are like these high school dropouts and the children of ultra rich people and, jailbait and stuff. Those are the people that they make into stars now. Athlete jerk-offs, pretty boys, and cheesecake. All the worst aspects of our society are manufactured into being artificially popular by this media apparatus is supposedly liberal media. Yeah, give me another. Tell me another. We live in a tabloid world. Tabloid, there's try to manufacture calling Howard Stern started back when they're calling Howard Stern a radical back in his terrestrial broadcast days. And, that was tying in with this old identity of radicalism from the days of rage and the Chicago 1968 Democratic Convention types of things. But Howard Stern was never ever anything more than a radio version of tabloid journalism, which is all very right wing. That's where Rupert Murdoch came from. He came from tabloid journalism, and then he came in, just completely destroyed the intellect and independent thought process of the entire country. And people were just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's be intellectually subservient to disturbed sociopaths. Why not? Anyway, so, look, hey, just in terms of trying to be fair and balanced and everything like that, a lot of people will call right-wingers ignorant and sort of brainwashed and all that kind of stuff that you typically hear out of people who've been indoctrinated into the left. But the fact of the matter is, and this is what you can hit them up with, because I don't give a rat's ass anymore. I'm practically dead. But, for the people that you want to fight it, duke it out with, that might have a little bit of pep in their step and stuff like that, I just tell them, like, hey, if all the right-wingers are so ignorant and everything like that, and blissfully ignorant, then how come Fox News is the one with the biggest giant ratings? Fox News obviously is just a mouthpiece for the hardcore right-wingers, stuff that's not objective at all. But there's more people watching that, and certainly these left-wingers aren't like totally getting connected to, the right-wing mouthpieces and stuff like that. So it's all right-wingers, and they're, at least that's what we're told, that, the Fox News is already has the biggest ratings of everybody. So, okay. So why don't you point that out to them? Saying like, hey, if we're all so ignorant and everything like that, how come our news programs are the highest rated? Why are you not paying attention to, your news programs? You got your MSNBC and stuff like that. They're always, way behind in the ratings and stuff like that. So they're not you got to put your money where your mouth is, right? The only thing, the political votes don't matter. I don't care what anybody says about elections. They are totally fixed beyond anything that we could ever do. Look, if they can, murder a president in front of everybody, have his head fly backwards as obviously getting hit from the front with a bullet, and then tell everybody for 60 years or whatever it's been that he was hit from the back, and people are believing, they're going, yeah, that makes sense. If they can do that to everybody, then they can tell everybody anything that they want, because it's so obvious that they're just lying, and people are just gobbling up to them. Give me more lies. Give me more lies. Lies, lies, lies. So I don't know what you're going to trying to go for or anything like that, but the pursuit of truth, which is kind of shown in terms of like what you can really do with your life is use their dollar votes to be able to manipulate, at least maybe edge, the corporate overlords into a little bit more of socially responsible behavior. But you don't do it. I mean, all you really need to do is create an app where you can take a little picture of the barcode of what you want to buy, and then it's got a independent group of people who are adjudicating all of the affiliations with the true owners of the products that we shop for and buy or watch on TV or movies or whatever that is, and we can look them up and we put our own personality preferences and political preferences and everything like that into the software, and so that it spits out a number after you scan the different types of brands of aluminum foil, and you can find out which of the manufacturers, the actual owners, people making the money off of that particular aluminum foil, match up with your own political preferences, and then you buy the one that's closest to who you are. And that way you can kind of support them. Maybe they inch their way a little bit more towards paying the social costs of making these ungodly, disturbing, profane levels of profit that they've been sponging off of us forever. And maybe you can fix it like that. I don't know, but certainly your political vote's not going to do any good. When you have a choice between a complete, total, psychotic, racist maniac on one side, and the other side, you've got somebody who was artificially propped up and given the opportunity to be the political party's nominee for president without anybody being able to vote for them when they were in the previous primary that they ran for, were the last place finisher, and those are your choices. Something's wrong, and that's not making any choices. So it's not the lesser of two evils. It's the evil level is so beyond what anybody comes into like really sort of thinking the way through. It's at a level that there is nothing. It's not a choice at all. It's just steamrolling the human race towards their ultimate destruction and enslavement. These things, they're all falling apart and everything like that. They've been working towards that for decades, and you don't even see any of the truth within this package of lies. You just most people are just buying into the rhetoric that they've been force-fed, and the people who are writing the scripts, they all work in the same building, whether they're trying to indoctrinate lefties or trying to indoctrinate righties, but they've all been taught how to hate is their primary function of the United States resident in today's day and age, and it's just not going to do any good. It's not going to lead to anything positive, or anybody having, we all share the same dreams. We all want our kids to have a better life. We all want, the the country and life in general to be, positive and have, some things worth striving for and worth fighting for and believing in, right? All of us. There's more similarities between those who have been partitioned off to the right and partitioned off to the left than there are between the working class and the ruling elite. I don't know. Anyway, so click the like button, subscribe for me, you filthy animal, and let's try to get through this mess together, all right? See ya.